I'm Heidi.
I'm Henry.
I'm Toki. And we're the Butcher Babies, and you are watching SoundlinkTV.
What is up, Trent here with SoundlinkTV, here with the Butcher Babies, here out at Carolina Rebellion. How you guys doing?
Good.
Very good. We're excited.
Yeah, I think I said your name wrong, because everybody seems to put the in front of Butcher Babies, but I think you guys are just Butcher Babies. Yeah, so.
Yeah, but I say the on accident all the time. We thought about just changing it to the Butcher Babies, but we're like, yeah, we'll just keep it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like saying Beastie Boys or the Beastie Boys, you know, whatever.
Now, before we get into it, who's this little guy or little girl right here?
So this is my daughter. Her name is Toki Monster Wartooth. And she is being a good girl right now, but she was stuck in the bus, and so I thought I'd bring her up and show her some action.
How you doing today?
Woof.
Awesome, me too. All right, so you're here at Rebellion and stuff like that, and one of the questions I like asking the bands we talk to is that, you know, between like this the climate control tours you guys do, whether it be a club or a bigger venue, and coming to a festival like this, how do you adapt your set? How do you change your band around to adapt this environment versus being inside with more production and all that?
We don't, because a lot of what we do prep-wise for these festivals is the same we would do for any show. You approach it the same way. I would say that the only real difference is there's a lot more space to work with, so we have more fun as far as like, oh, I could jump off of that thing, or oh, I can run over to this part, and that's really the only difference.
The sad thing is you can't see our really bitchin' light show we have, but it's still fun. You know, we go out there and assault the audience on all their senses. So it's like, you know, we do basically the same thing. When we started as a band, we didn't have any production. You know, it was just like, here's some amps and some microphones and a band, and. Oh yeah, well, and then, you know, we started, one of our biggest tours was the Mayhem Festival, and so we kind of got accustomed to the festival setting quickly, and we really, really love it. Our band doesn't really need to prepare other than cutting our set down just a little bit, but that's fun too. You go out there and you just 30 minutes and just kick them in the balls and leave them hang and dry.
There you go. Yeah. So now with the crowds and stuff, obviously they're different. You know, when you're on tour versus a festival. So do you guys prefer the people who are coming to a, you know, like on a tour to see you guys, maybe because you're on the tour? Or do you guys prefer the festival where you have your fans here who know who you are, but at the same time though, you got some stragglers watching as well?
I think that both is really fun. I love playing in front of new people, and it's so interesting to watch because you can see those new people because they're like this. And then, you know, obviously the ones who have seen us before are rocking out, having a good time singing along. But I love, you know, making new fans and or enemies. And I think, though, you know, there's no better feeling than in a smaller venue with just our crowd, with them singing every lyric back at us. I mean, the emotion that we put into these songs and the space that we were in our lives when we wrote them, and you can see it right in front of you affecting them, and there's no better feeling than that. So I really think that they both have their really great points. Okay.
What about you? Do you echo that answer, or do you like have your own perspective on it?
No, I mean that absolutely. Like between like the club setting and the festival setting, they're completely different, but they're both equally fun, and they're both really, really cool in their own right. And you know, when you're in the club, it's very intimate. You can really see people and just be right there. In the festivals, it's a little bit more open, but they're both a blast, and we have fun regardless. So we remember being here before. It was amazing last time, so we're really looking forward to today.
Yeah, you guys just recently put out a record, you know, a couple months ago, maybe like, you know, wow, it's been more than a couple months. This year's flying by, yeah.
6 or 7 months.
Yeah, it still feels new and stuff. So like, you know, that's been received really well from what I've seen and everything and stuff. So like creatively and stuff like that, what did you guys try to do on this one and that you may have not done on the past to like to expand your sound, to get yourselves to the next level and all that?
We tried more things. We brought more dynamics to the plate, where this album is a lot heavier and a lot softer than our previous albums. It's more live sounding. We tried to prepare as a band and go in, learn the material, play it as a band, and then record it, which we didn't do in previous albums. So it's more raw sounding. And that's what we really, really wanted to capture, is a very raw, like if you're listening to it, like what you hear on that album is exactly what we sound like live. That is identical. So that's what we really wanted.
So you wrote it live, I guess, to instead of going.
We made minimal changes in the studio.
Yeah. So instead of putting all the extra stuff.
We rehearsed it as a band. We made all the tweaks that we wanted. And so when we went into that studio, we could essentially play a show, which we couldn't do with previous albums.
Recorded drums. We were in there singing and screaming while they were recording drums, and he was playing. We performed while the drums were being recorded because we wanted to get that feeling of the five of us, that energy that we put out, and you definitely hear it in this album. I mean, and our producer Steve Evans, he's a stickler about getting every note perfect. There's no auto-tune, there's no fake drums, no fake sounds. Everything from the tambourine to the shakers, everything's real, and every note we sang, that came out of my mouth. You know, and I feel like so many times nowadays people take the quick approach because, you know, time is limited and it's expensive to have the studio where they're like, oh, I'll just fix it in post. Not Steve, no. And you know what, that was really great because it furthered us as musicians, and by the time we walked out and we were finished with recording that album, we knew the songs front to back. We could sing all the notes perfectly. They weren't fixed. So, I mean, that's something that we definitely were excited about with this album.
Now, lyrically and all that stuff too, like, you know, obviously everybody knows, you know, there's two front women in this band and all that. So, like, how'd you guys go about writing the lyrics, figuring out who does what vocally and stuff, who's writing what, and how's that whole process work?
Fight to the death. I'm kidding. No, we kind of write with the intention of this person's going to sing this part. There's going to be a different person here. We're going to do harmonies here, like clean harmonies here, or screamed harmonies, which we do all the time. So it's pretty easy. Oh my God, I'm really sorry. It's pretty easy when it comes to writing between the two of us. It's seamless.
Okay.
We've been writing together for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So. Well, over 10 years now. Yeah. We were in a band together prior to Butcher Babies, so it's really easy.
Okay. Now, after this festival, you know, whatever you guys are doing now and all that stuff, where can fans expect to see you guys in the summer and then the fall and all that later on in the year that you can talk about right now?
Well, we're on a tour right now. It's a Kings and Queens tour. We're co-headlining with Nonpoint, and then Cane Hill is support, as well as Sumo Psycho, a band out of Canada. And the energy is just insane. It's so fun. We just started this tour, so we have about another month and a half left of it, and then a bunch of stuff after that. We're going to be in Europe, and then we're going to be back here, but that's all I can say.
Nice. All right. And what about you? What are you looking forward to, buddy?
She's like, oh,
being a punk rocker.
my new medal. Get my new medal on.
Oh, I like her collar. It's got all the spikes on it. Yeah. All right.
She's hardcore.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, thank you guys for talking to us today.
Thank you. Sorry she almost destroyed your set.
Oh, no, you're good. Dogs are always welcome in these things. We love them. Yeah, I'm Trent with SoundlinkTV here with Butcher Babies. Thanks you guys for watching.